What up, y'all? Hey, have y'all ever seen old dude on here named James Proctor? He's one of those mafia guys, or he talks about the mafia. He never was a mafia guy. He just, talks about the genre or whatever. And I seen a video he done earlier. I don't know if y'all have ever seen Gene Borello, but Gene was he was part of Vinny Asaro and them, Ronnie G and them's crew, and ended up getting in trouble and fell out with the mob, all that. So he, gets a short sentence. He gets out and he basically beat this girl up and took her phone. It's on camera. I mean, we all seen it. And they, Florida, Proctor was talking about how today they had a court hearing and Borello's lawyers asked for a continuance. And Proctor was like, I think that might be because the longer you can... Let me tell y'all how that works, what's going on. Alright, if you're inside the jail and you're like, when I was in there, my bond was so high I couldn't get out. So I didn't want to lay up in the county for 2.5 years waiting to go to court, to then get 5 years or something, Like, I knew I was guilty. They come down there talking about 10 years. I said, let's rock and roll. I signed it. I went to prison, and I'm in the next train smoking. Because, see, when you're in jail, if you're inside jail and you can't make bond, it's really, really harder to fight a case. I mean, seriously, it's hard to fight a case from inside because you ain't got access to Google. You ain't got access. Oh, hey, call down there and go look up this. Go do it. See, you can only use phones at certain times. The lawyers ain't finna. You can't call the lawyer up collect. They not putting money on the phone. You just gotta hope and pray that they'll come see you. And but see, if you're on the street, you can make bond. You can get it continued and continued and continued till 3 years have gone by. And then you can say, well, look, Judge, it's been 3 years since it happened, and I ain't got no trouble, so can you, drop the charge, drop it down, and that's what's happening. Because, see, the state of Florida, I didn't even know this, they're wanting 7 to 10 years on him. And that's a lot of time, because, see, Florida's got 85%. Which means if you get a 10, you're doing 8.5. So... That's what they're doing. The longer you can put it off on the street, see, because eventually the prosecutor's going to have more cases come, new cases, higher profile cases, and then eventually it's going to get to a point to where they're not going to want to go to trial. They're just going to be like, all right, man, we'll give you this, and they'll give them a sweetheart deal and they go home because they had the money. Now you're going to have to pay them lawyers, and I'm going to tell you, it ain't going to be cheap. Every time they put it off and shit, the longer they charge you by the hour, the longer they keep going, the more you're gonna pay. So, but Proctor, he's there. See, he ain't never been to prison or he ain't never been. You know what I mean? He knows a little bit about it, but he's never been there. But that's what I always was told. Is, man, it's easier to fight a case from the street, because think about it. You can drive to your lawyer. If you drive to your lawyer's office, they gonna see you. You might have to wait out in the lobby for a minute, but he's gonna eventually, or she's gonna eventually see you. Call them over from the county jail. Get on that Blue Devil and call them. See what happens. They'll hang that mug up, and as soon as they hear this is a collect call from inmate, click. Yeah, they ain't answering that shit. But, and like I said, you got access to law libraries, Google. You can look up, case law and shit. You can do, there's so much more that you're privy to on the street that you ain't got when you're in there, And then you might get with you might have somebody that you think is smart or has been through the system enough to know, and they might give you bad advice, man. I seen that happen to people. I seen people that were I'm not saying slow or nothing, but they just, for some reason, they trusted somebody just completely, and you listen to that person talking to them, and you think, man, if you listen to that, bro, but if you go up and say something to them like, hey man, old dude's putting you on a collision course, then you getting in somebody else's business. So, you know, you don't get in people's business in there. I mean, that's one of the rules. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, you can, but I mean, that ain't. If you're supposed to be a, you know, whatever, that's how you're supposed to roll. But, yeah, if they're wanting 7 to 10 now, they'll put it off. I don't know. The judge may not let them put it off again, but the prosecutor will be in a position to where he's not worried. He just wants the plea deal, the conviction, and he'll probably give him a, you know, 2 to 5 or something. So it does pay off to be on the street and keep getting it continued. Cause see, when you're in jail, it's hard to keep getting them to continue it. Why would you want to keep continuing it when you sitting in jail? You know what I mean? So on the street, it ain't nothing. Get it continued. You keep on living, eating, sleeping good, watching TV. You know what I mean? Like, you at home, you can get with your woman. You know what I mean? Like, but if you're in jail, you ain't want them to continue it. Like, hell no, let's get this shit over. I knew I was guilty, y'all. I knew there was no way in the world that I could make my bond was $167,500. I didn't have $16,750. So I knew that, you know, I'm dead in the water here. So the next best thing was, how fast can I get out of here and get into prison and get this sentence over with and move on with my life? And that's what I did. As soon as the first day the lawyer come to see me, he said 10 split 1. I said, get me a regular 10 with good time. And he came back the next day. I signed the paperwork. And then the next day, that Thursday, I went and pled out to the judge. And then soon as 3.5 weeks later, I was on my way to Kilby. Thought I was on my way to Kilby. Oh, God. Man, we ended up going through a toll booth, y'all, in the middle of Walker County or Winston County or somewhere over there by Tuscaloosa, by the Mississippi line, Pickens County. But I can't remember if we came up through Fayette County or Walker or Winston or Mary. Somewhere over in that area. But we're driving out, y'all. This blows my mind. We're in the middle. I'm talking about, there ain't even no houses, y'all. There ain't even no barns. There ain't even no bales of hay. There ain't even no farms. It's just land, pine trees and shit. And then all of a sudden we riding down the road in a prison van, and in the middle of all that nowhere, we roll up on a toll booth like it's New Jersey Turnpike. I said, look at this shit. They had a toll booth out in the middle of y'all know where I'm talking about, bumfuck Egypt, man. I'm gonna tell you what, Pickens County was a nightmare, boy. Shit. Man, they hated us Huntsville folks. Ooh, Lord. See, about 85% of the prisoners were from Huntsville. Now, there was a lot of boys from Winfield and Walker County and shit in there with us, but most of us were from Huntsville, and they didn't like us, man. They didn't like us at all. I ain't kidding you, boy. They used to spray us with that bear mace, man. Open the door up, empty a can, and close the door back. I swear to God, 15 minutes, and then they'd come back in. They'd have on gas masks. Everybody in there puking. I ain't kidding you. I got Horton to tell you, people to tell you, Big Amp. Look down, rest in peace, Slick Mail. He was there. I mean, there's a lot of folks that can tell you that, boy, they did us dirty down there, man. I mean, bad. That was one of the worst. Hey, if anybody ever needed the damn 8th Amendment charged on them, it's Pickens County, boy. Cruel and unusual punishment. Jesus. boy, they was feeding us, y'all. We don't even know what they was feeding us, y'all, because the sheriff took the money and bought a beach house in Mobile, Orange Beach or whatever. Yeah. I remember this. They had fruit. They was putting fruit cocktails on the plates. And old Tommy Peoples grew up with me in New Hope. Tommy Peoples was going around. He was a hustler. He didn't get no money put on his books. But this son of a gun would wash clothes. He'd take a damn garbage bag and tear it apart and make a necklace that was a cross. I don't know how they did it, but they did, yeah. He'd wash shoes, cut hair. He was going to cut a black dude's hair in there one day. And man, listen, if y'all know Peoples, y'all would be like, oh my God. And this blows my mind, man. Some of y'all may know Tommy Peoples. Tommy Peoples told this black dude that he could cut black people's hair. Listen, I'm just telling you, all right? And I'm like, I'm thinking to myself, me and Horton's like, man, Tommy's he finna get whooped because he's gonna mess that dude's head up bad, man. Man, believe it or not, Tommy Peoples knew how to do it. He cut dude's hair, put a cut on him, man. And we was all like, golly. And yeah, blow my mind. But Tommy Peoples, man, he was something serious, boy. He'd get out there and hustle, man. I'm telling you, he'd find some way to make some money, you know, like. Anyway, hey man, y'all have a good one, all right? See y'all.